Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Leach, caregiver and advocate for dementia caregivers. Welcome, and I'm so glad you're here to be a part of our session, our discussion. I'll call it Deb's Talk on burnout to balance of caregivers. And while I would say this talk is so important, given the tremendous amount of people who are taking on the role and the increase of dementia and Alzheimer's and all type of ailments with our family members, it's critical subject that we must talk about, the how to improve the well-being of you, and you. And while we do have differences of how we are caregivers. As myself, I'm a dementia caregiver. You are the caregivers for those various ailments, various sickness. At the same time, one common thread that's weaved through us that we have a sense of frustration, we feel a sense of fatigue, alone, and it can lead to depression unchecked. Did you know that 81% of caregivers are women, and they're more likely to leave their professional positions to be caregivers? And on top of that, caregivers, again, not the excluding men, because men are also caregivers. There are families who are not only taking care of one or two, but at least three members of their family. That has to be really tough. No matter your journey, I just want to make sure you become the best caregiver for yourself, just like you're doing for your loved one. And so, before we get started on the topic, we're going to venture on, we're going to talk about my journey as a caregiver, my journey that has led me here to this platform to share with you how I got started, where I am now. Also, we're going to discuss some ways to identify, see some red flags to say, you know what, I'm tapping into burnout. And then we're going to talk about some practical opportunities, how you can safeguard yourself and keep yourself healthy. And then we're going to look at opportunities. How do we move forward? What action steps you can take moving forward to maintain good mental and physical health? Now, I want to also mention, don't forget, there are opportunities way beyond this platform here. Please take advantage of them, particularly if you need a doctor support. You may need that. Do what you must do for yourself. So, before we get started, I want to ask everyone, have you heard of the familiar promotion? Help! I've fallen and I can't get up. Most of you, if not all of you, have heard that commercial. The commercial that at one click and your loved one has immediate access, is dispatched to help them, no matter what the injury or the condition, they have that support. What about you? What button do you click for immediate help? What button can you click when you feel so overwhelmed or your shoulders are so weighted down from the responsibilities of a caregiving, a loving caregiver? There are no buttons. There's no click for you to click on, is there? And that's why you must be empowered to make time to care for yourself. There are many times caregivers so weighted down, they don't know what to do, or they don't know what course to take, or what opportunities are available. For myself, sometimes I'm so tired that I want to fall down and I don't want to get up. I'm exhausted. We're going to talk about these things. What can we do to make life better for each of us? Before I get started, I want to share with you a story. 2020, during the height of the pandemic, I received a call from a neighbor, my mother's neighbor, that said, Deborah, are you home? Your mother's house is on fire. What? Needless to say, I raced over to her house only to find her house wasn't on fire. However, the oven was. And the firemen had already put the fire out, which I'm so grateful. It wasn't a home and she wasn't harmed. Something happened when she dropped an item of grease or something in the oven. And that's when I discovered there's something going on here. I noticed a little cognitive decline. I paid more attention to it because she lived in her house, I lived in mine. We didn't really gel like that. So let me tell you, my mother and I, we didn't get along. Oh, I mean, literally. We were like oil and water. There was no coming together. Or we were like gasoline and a match. Yes, it was not a loving relationship at all. So this really disturbed me when I started hearing about the fire, and I realized this is critical and something has to be done. Now, in most cases, it's been easy. It's easy. Just move her in or move her to your house. Well, at the time, my mother could see somewhat, but she started losing her vision as well. Even with that, we just did not see eye to eye. We just did not. And one night I was in bed and there was a strong urge to say, you've got to move. I've got to move. Where is that coming from? And I pretty much said, that's not happening. I don't want to move there. I cannot. We don't get along. That's just not what I'm going to do. So what I did do, I went over there for a little overnight bag. I said, I'll stay a couple of days. And the couple of days was a confirmation. You don't want to be here. Because while she was getting these cognitive declines, some fog, she was still her hostile self. Yes, she was. And I just could not handle it. So I went back home. I certainly did. You've got to move. I said, oh no, I cannot do this. Long story short, packed up one suitcase, took it home. And may I tell you something? I took it home. Home is where I grew up in. Home is where the room I grew up in as a teenager, I was in. Did I say was? How about I am in even today? It was rough. It was difficult. It was hard. It was strenuous. It was stressful. It was painful. It was tears. It was all the bucket of things that sometimes we feel. I had them all, even to the point I did not want to live. I didn't. I thought this was too much. This hard. I was a solo caregiver and I couldn't do it. Until I would say God had another plan. And his plan was, it's not going to go down this way. This relationship is going to get mended. And I'm going to put you right in the center of it. I'm going to put you right in the place, and you can't hide at your house and just bring food to her house, bring food and leave, no, you're going to be there. I did. And it took prayer and serving her and prayer and dealing with all this stuff I didn't want to deal with, that loving, accepting, forgiving, that my heart was transformed until I changed the word that I've got to do this to I get to do this. And today is completely everything I felt before is gone. I only wish what we have now, I wish we had before. But you know what? I appreciate what we have now, the relationship now. She still talks. It may not all the time. In fact, she calls my name repeatedly, but that's okay. She will also say, Deborah, I love you. And that melts my heart. That puts away all the memories and the things that did not go well between the two of us. It puts behind. So I want to tell you, everyone, if your relationships are not working with your loved ones, before you think about self, that's part of your self care. Take care of your heart. You cannot care for anyone if you don't have a relationship aligned to what they are going through. And as you know, self taking care of someone, you don't know how long it's going to be. It doesn't have an end, a date. You don't know. And so that's be miserable trying to take care of someone that you don't get along with, you don't love, you just fix that. Fix that first. That will alleviate half the stress. So at this time, I'm going to talk to you about ways to identify this stress. One of the ways that you just cannot, you don't want to be around anyone. Or if you're around anyone, you're just this blah expressions. You just don't, you can't interject, you can't get in, you cannot connect with people. Those are signs, warning signs. Or you stop eating, or you can't sleep. These are signs that you must be aware of. Or you're so frustrated, you don't want to talk to anyone, don't want to go anywhere. Those are signs that you're burned out. Your, your breathing changes. So here, let's talk about ways to change this. You know, I say dementia is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from day to day. And that is true because it is a disease. But what you can do is find ways to create boundaries for yourself so you don't get emotional when the chocolate is going haywire. Okay? So here's some of the things I want to remind you. Please take care of your mind, build time for you, meditation, prayer, whatever you need to do, you have to have quiet time. There's a lady at my church years ago, she used to say, come apart so you won't come apart. You have to do that because you will at some point. Secondly, I want you to remember, make sure you're going to bed, make drinking properly, eating meals, not snackaroos like I was doing. As a matter of fact, I just had some chips. Okay, I fail sometimes too. They ain't perfect yet, but make sure you're doing things like that, eating well, and you want to make sure that you are sleeping well. Get to bed between 10 o'clock if you can. You need the rest to rejuvenate your body. And I know this is going to be hard because everybody's situation is different. Many times I will be called 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, my name called, just rush in. And then I got cameras to see, hey, is everything all right? Let me look on the camera. Is everything all right? Everything's okay. Build boundaries where you don't have to run to your loved one every minute of the day. You have to do that. In addition to that, get help. Get the right help. If you're going to get a caregiver, get the right help to help you, but to support you in this journey. And that will make tremendous difference in helping you. Um, and also, you want to make sure that you take a little staycation. It may not be able to travel across the world, but take a few minutes to travel in your mind. Take some time to travel to get away. That's going to help your overall ability to um, maintain good health. You also want to journal. Journaling is a very good idea. I have a book for each year, all that went on. I'd have to put it down. I had to write it down because some of it I could not express to anyone else. I didn't have anyone. I didn't have this. I wish this was available. I wish I was on the other side of this camera right now, and someone else was on this side, and I was the audience listening to this person sharing some tips, sharing strategies, offering me an opportunity to talk to him again later and create some strategies to be able to have action plans. There was no one to do that on a one-to-one basis. So those are things you want to do. Get a community, whether it's your friends or community or your faith-based community. Communities matter. Don't go alone. Don't do this solo. And when someone asks you how you're feeling, don't put that plastic smile. I'm fine. I'm fine. How you doing? Oh, I'm fine. And inside you're crumbling, you're breaking up, you're tearing apart because you're hurt so bad and you don't know what to do. Be honest with yourself and be honest with people who want to help you. I have a dear friend, when I was going through the very beginning stages and I was trying to sort things, understand, and she didn't have to say much. I didn't have to say much. She just came to my house and brought meals in containers for 2 weeks and dessert, and it was just so loving of her. I appreciate it because I was empty. I was so empty because I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. I feel like sometimes it's like a new baby. Like, how do I handle this baby? And the baby just never, like a baby, eventually grow up. But a lot of times you take care of your loved one, you just don't know. And so that was really critical to me. So write some journals. And again, as I said, don't feel like you have to go alone. Ask friends for help, be honest. And also, finally, I want to talk about being able to exercise. Make sure you're walking, get some fresh air daily, get out the house, exercise, be able to feel better. When you feel better, you can take care of your loved one better. When you're eating better, you can take care of your loved one better. When you're resting, you can care for your loved one much better. But if you're not doing any of that, how can you give them the quality, love, and service that you want to give? You're tearing your own self down. And oftentimes, do not lift your loved ones. If you don't have the ability, Hoyer lifts, all types of tools, be able to get them from place A to B, because as you get older, your body will deteriorate and break down if you're not doing those. So there's a lot of things I want to be able to share with you beyond that, and tools and services as we go on, as we continue on this discussion at a later point. So I want to let you know, I want to make available to you. As I said, if this was available to me in 2020, when this journey started, I would have been a more content person. I would have been more happier. Even while the friction between her and I had started, I had the friction between her and I had the unaware of what I'm doing, and I had the doctors telling me give it this medication, and doctors saying with the cut back on that medication, and I didn't know what to do. I was just a mess. But no one saw it because I always smile. I just smile through everything. Falling apart, but I'm smiling. Okay, it wasn't being real to me. And I don't want you to go through that. I want you to be the best caregiver for yourself. So I'm making an offer for the first 11 people that would like to learn more about tools and strategies and how to be able to navigate this journey, and just to have a conversation. We have a one-on-one, and then there'll be group sessions that you can be included. If you're the one that feel like it's time for me to do something, come out that quiet closet that you're by yourself and you're crying by yourself and you need help. I'm here for you. I'm here for each of you. I want you to take this number down, 856-35-4515, and text me, I'm in. Text me, I'm in. If you see this as an opportunity for you to get benefit, to have discussion, to get the tools that may be available in your city, I'll provide those for you. I'll be the ear for you to just lean on. If you just want to cry, because sometimes all I needed was a cry, whatever you like, call that number again, 856-358-1515, just 4515, and just text me at I'm in. You get a calendar. I will put you get the calendar that puts you on the calendar. Put you on the calendar to be able to set up a date to a follow-up session with you on one-on-one. And again, there will be group sessions that we can come together. I find that you're better together. We can accomplish more. And so I just want to say to you, it's your time to be who you are to be. It's your time to be all that you can be while you're caring for the loved ones, for them while they're here. That's all. Take care. I'll look to see you. Bye-bye.